It's Levac and Gaz. Happy Friday edition of the show as we get through yet another week, which is crazy because I was convinced when we weren't getting paychecks I'd never speak to Gaz again. All right. All right, let's get into this. Let's get these headlines rolling. I sound awful. Like I'm like I think I'm still hungover. Like I sound like when you're hungover and you're nasally. Like I think bragging about the fact that I could outdrink my 20-something-year-old child has backfired. My body's just like, no, you suck, dude. Lay down. Lay down.
I think you're okay. I think you're fine.
Okay.
And what for some people don't
Feel
realize, on the YouTube side, we have a new background. But what's been great about this new background is I've tried for nearly 3 weeks to get this background to work. Every day before the show, I force it on Levac, and he's like, "Not."
Keep
and all
trying.
I did in Chat GPT, I'm like, "Can you finally fix this so it doesn't look like it's?" And then today we get the new background. So there it is. Yeah, submit your backgrounds if you would like. Win or else for Aaron Boone. I opened up the show run today. I'm like, boy, there are moments through the course of the Aaron Boone tenure that Yankee fans wanted him to go. Things are starting to go a little different here on this Friday, the second to last Friday in July. We get closer to the trade deadline. Well, I'm going to give you the floor on this. Why on this Friday are you feeling extra hate for Mr. Aaron Boone?
I don't. It's not hate. It's prove it. You know what I mean? Like to use we always seem to go to the relationship analogy. To use the relationship analogy, the last thing you need is your current girl looking messy when you're in front of your ex or a girl that you almost dated or whatever. Like Don Mattingly, to me as a Yankee fan, is the one that got away, right? So the fact that he's managing another squad, Boone's here. If Mattingly out manages Boone, how do you like even guys like me who are just like, dude, what's the point in replacing the manager when you're just gonna have Brian Cashman micromanage that dude? Guys like me have to look at it and go, dude, like this is the guy who should have your job, and he just proved it again. So I think Boone has to have a great weekend. I really, really do. I think the Yankees, Yankees Phillies could be a World Series preview. Guys, you love that kind of crap. So I think this is a chance to prove to the Yankee fans that you're the right dance partner, and if you don't, I think the Yankees, I know they won't do it in season, but I think they really have to look ahead and if there's a Mattingly curse out there. Have you seen this? I don't know.
No.
There's fans, and I saw that dude, the dude who does the alternate timelines, like he talked about it. I heard somebody else talk about it, and then he fleshed it out that it's the curse of Don Mattingly because the Yankees will never win another World Series until Don Mattingly wins one. So so I hate that, but if the thought that's out there, and then you look at him, you're like, that should be our manager. Well, our manager better do a damn good job. Don't get drunk and fall through the charcuterie board, Boone. Okay.
You went with the relationship analogy. I'll go with our field, and I'll still call podcasting our field, but more so traditional media, television, radio. And I don't know if you felt this way early on in your career, but I will fully admit when I was 23 or 24 years old, animosity is not the right term, but frustration. That Newhouse and Ithaca and Oswego and Northwestern, all these trained broadcasters or from traditional broadcasting schools would get opportunities in the industry before somebody like me who went to Hobart, where I'm like, just give me a chance, And I don't know if that happened in your career. Like, hey, maybe you didn't go to any of those schools and you had to grind your way through it. I bring that up because now as I'm an older person and I lost my hair and I have 3 kids, if you have to hire somebody for a job or have to put somebody in a position to succeed, whether it be in media or in a regular 9-to-5 or a head coach, why should I pick this candidate over these candidates? And what makes this conversation so interesting is that Don Mattingly wins that conversation every single time. He's done more as a manager. He's had more experience. He's had success. He's been in the league longer. Aaron Boone has a great baseball mind. I will not doubt that. He's from a baseball family. When I just turned into Chip Kelly family, I just heard that LSU accent all of a sudden, like Brian Kelly, I should say. Although Chip Kelly is doing that weird video now too, with that hard hat. That look, Mattingly's better, but because Aaron Boone's been able to manage the Yankees, he's obviously improved. We did this conversation months ago about like, okay, so if Aaron Boone got fired from the Yankees, who needs to hire him? I don't know if the market value is really out there for Aaron Boone, and that's a huge thing. Don Mattingly's been with a bunch of different franchises. Sometimes you have to take a step back and say, are we over evaluating this guy? Let's use the Warriors for an example. The Warriors got rid of Mark Jackson, a New York tie, and they hired Steve Kerr out of the Turner broadcast booth. It worked out great. Greg Popovich was never a head coach before. Greg Popovich hired himself to run the Spurs in the dynasty, which is one of the great, less talked about stories. So that's the thing that frustrates me about the Mattingly Boone thing, but I find fascinating is that you give the resumes and the career in managing and what he's doing with the Philadelphia, like you just said, from the comeback where they look like they were over going to sell everybody. He wins. So Boone's been doing this longer, but my gosh, Mattingly's resume is better.
Well, and listen, I know that you shouldn't make these decisions based on nostalgia, but as a Yankee fan, I would love to see Mattingly manage this team. We've got friends who reach out to us all the time and talk about, get our friend Lori all the time. Can we fire Boone now? Can we fire Boone now? Can we fire Boone now? And like my staunch defense of him is far less staunch than it once was. But again, if you embarrass me, sweetie, if you embarrass me at this wedding in front of my high school sweetheart, if you embarrass me in front of my ex-wife, if you embarrass me in front of the one that got away, you're getting away. It's over. I'll be on that wagon of let's get rid of him.
And let's go even further with this, right? Like, okay, so when they hire Aaron Boone, when Aaron Boone is hired, it is a hunch, a gut feeling. I like this guy, something special. He does not have the resume when he takes over the Yankees to be the next guy. Here's what we have to remember. In any type of industry, and I'm going back to radio here for a second because the guy to my left over here has a story very similar. There are times where if you are going to go hire somebody who hasn't done something in a certain format or spot before, it falls on the hiring person, the people above them. So like if Aaron Boone bombed out here, it should fall on Cashman. Yeah. It should fall on ownership. It should fall on executives. I'll tell the story of it. Obviously, like when you were hired by Armin to join sports talk radio, you had a country and rock and different backgrounds before, but I believe the conversation went something along the lines of like, you need to bet your career on who you're about to hire. Now, if for whatever reason you bombed out or you and Armin hated each other or the show sucked, Armin would have felt that like you felt that. But it worked out well, obviously.
He was told he was told that before he picked me.
Okay. All right. But then he picked you, but the pressure was still on. Yeah.
But the hoops that we jumped through, like there's probably a good 20 to 30 hours of shows that have never aired. They were practice shows. It was me and him in a room doing the show. Then it was me and the producer doing a show. There was me and so there's a good 30 hours of me doing sports talk that never will. I don't even know how to get a hold of it. I'd give it to you guys just so you could have something to laugh at. Just and be like, you know what, man, you suck, but you suck a lot less than you used to. But yeah, Armin put his ass on the line to give me my first talk show, and it, I'd like to think it worked out for the most part. I mean, he's doing just fine. And then you drove in from Syracuse. Well, yeah, Syracuse to be a part of this thing and moved here. So, and then moved back in the dead of night, like a weird ninja. But it's just, I see that. I think that analogy is pretty similar. But Cashman was so safe though. It was a little different. Like our boss at the time hated me, hated my guts. So Armin knew, and I made it very clear to Armin. I was like, any plan you present with my name attached to it is going to be shot down. So we had to win over the great Rick Scott. We had to win over. Actually, Rick Scott loved the idea. He and I had talked 2 or 3 times about other things. When he was in the building, because anybody who's never seen Rick Scott, he's a skyscraper. The dude's 7 feet tall and allergic to bread. That's the 2 things I knew about him when he walked in. And to your point earlier about well, dude, yeah, I went to Hobart. I didn't go to Newhouse, but I know what I'm doing. I was just what? Why do I have to listen to this guy about radio? I know what I'm doing. I know radio. And then I talked to him. I was like, oh, that's why, because he knows more. Okay, all right, I get that. But yeah, we won him over. We did a bunch of practice shows, and then Armin put his ass on the line, and that's why you guys are stuck with this crap today.
That's right. And look, we've seen it in New York too. The Jets tried the Aaron Rodgers thing. Injury obviously a huge factor in that, but it didn't work. Everybody lost their job. The Mets tried hiring Brody Van Wagenen. Remember, that's everybody's gone.
Fluid
See you
to
later.
the top.
Right. Sometimes when you try to do something different in professional sports, and the same thing, professional sports, media. My gosh, somebody hired Wolf between you and I. They thought that was going to work. They took a little longer for that. But like seriously, right? Like if you're going to try to do something different outside the box, unconventional, pick a candidate that's not as good as the other candidates, two things will happen. Three things. Either it'll work out great, you'll have a lot of success, depending on what you deem successful within each organization. It's going to bomb out and you're going to lose your job. Or I guess the third one is like you're going to be so stubborn enough that you're going to make sure this thing's work. It doesn't. And I think we're in the third one. I wasn't used to right. Like we're going to go with Boone no matter what here. But I think why you let off with this, gosh, it could be an eye-opening weekend. If Mattingly runs circles around him, it is a boy. We got the wrong guy in our clubhouse.
Well, and let's not go too far. Like this is an emotional plea for me for the most part. And also because we just saw the Knicks do this. Like the Knicks just said, good ain't great. We want great. And did the plan work the way did they get where they got the way they thought they would? No. They thought they were going to get Jason Kidd. They thought they were going to get this one. They settle and they win it all. Like Aaron Boone has been extremely successful as the Yankees manager. He just hasn't won the World Series. And that's why you're here. I don't want to the reason I always defend the guy is I think there is an unfair expectation that, because you have pinstripes on, you're at worst, you're going to game 7 of a classic World Series. That's not always the case, especially when you've got the Dodgers out there doing what the old school Yankees did. But the problem is going to be as a fan base, I cannot see a scenario by which Yankee fan is going to be okay with Mattingly coaching circles around Boone and still being like, well, you know what? We got this. We'll figure it out. No, I think if the Phillies slap the Yankees around this weekend, there will be that dull murmur of, do we really want Boone, is going to turn into a pretty loud roar.
For your team, I am rooting for the Yankees to do well this weekend. I want them to do well, not just because it'll keep your sanity well, but because of how great of a morning I had this morning. I hope you feel as great as I did this morning, because this is what I woke up to. We'll get to the Syracuse, air quotes, victory last night a little later in the show. But I woke up to that, plus the weather is gorgeous here in Central New York. And Levac texted me a 17 college football make the playoff parlay and said he wanted to talk about the Heisman Trophy. I go, can I get a better morning? I'm good for the rest of the weekend. And I told you, a little rude of me, hey, don't tell me what you want to talk about. Tell me on the show. So what did you want to talk about? Yeah, right. What did you want to talk about the Heisman today about? I love that text.
I woke up today in a college football kind of mood. It was like, I want to say that it got down to the 50s overnight, which is amazing sleeping weather, but it puts that fall in your nose. You know what I mean? Where it's like, well, that's football weather, baby. That's outdoor football. Hey, I love arena. Don't get me wrong. Love me some arena, but that's some outdoor football. That's some Sunday action or Saturday. So I got up and I looked around a little bit and I put together a 17 playoff parlay. Which is a bit of a long shot, but I feel good about it. I'll share it at some point today. And I started really thinking about, me, man, like a lot of times my best wagers are narrative based. Like I'll build a narrative in my brain that I think plays out. And, there's been times that when I'm in tune with how everything's working and it really comes to fruition. I think that, and again, in New York State, you cannot bet on the Heisman. They don't allow that. So I texted you in Boston, Dan, and I was like, whoever's going to end up in a state where you can bet on the Heisman, I need to know, because I want to bet on this guy and I hate it. And that guy, because of a few factors, is Julian Sayin, quarterback of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Whoa.
Yeah, hold on. I have to do something. If I'm going to do this, I gotta do this just so it doesn't, I gotta rep the blue. I think that kid, I think he's a little undersized, but I think he's got all the skills in the world. I saw him mature over the course of the season. He's got potentially the best wide receiver in college football. I'm not a big Arthur Smith guy, but I think Arthur Smith will commit to the run, which will help saying, really feel out games and make appropriate throws. Hopefully playing, short distance downs instead of long distance downs, which will help his completion percentage. I've been listening to, some of the insiders, and they're all talking about Oregon and Notre Dame and Texas, and you're in love with Florida. A lot of people think Miami goes back. Ole Miss and LSU are a great storyline. People aren't talking about Ohio State. Like, for the first time in 10, 20 years, where Ohio State is not the narrative. And I think that gives them the ability to be a power of the Big Ten and still play with a chip on their shoulders. And I think if there's going to be a step back on that squad this year, it's the defense. I mean, how many guys went in the first round? So you're going to need to score. So I think all that comes together that Julian saying is going to be the Heisman Trophy winner for the 26-27 season.
He was there last year in New York City as a finalist. I got to watch him address the media. He was very young. He looked like he actually just turned 21 this week. Actually turned 21.
And he looks 15. He looks 15.
He does. To saying he is so accurate. He is him, as the Gen Zers like to say. Like, this guy had an offer to play Division I football when he was in the 8th grade. So I'd assume he looked like he was 8 when he was in the 8th grade. If he looks like he's 15
he probably just
now.
didn't age. He froze right there like a vampire.
5-star recruit, can't miss prospect, all the stuff, like quarterback coaches, Elite 11. This is the guy you'd want to draw up to be the Ohio State quarterback for a second season. And people basically treated him as an unknown last year. When you're super accurate, you have NFL wide receivers and really good coaching, that's a path to the Heisman. You've also got a really tough schedule. And our friend Lori, I'm sure, will appreciate this, and other Ohio State fans. Like, when you look at Ohio State's schedule, you just be like, hey, they can't win all these games, right? They're probably going to win 9 games or 10 games. And then you realize, like, my gosh, if they can beat Michigan's obviously on that schedule. I believe Oregon's on that schedule. Yeah. Indiana, and there's Texas. Like, those are powerhouse programs. Most programs would be like, oh, they're going to be lucky if they get to 8-4. If Ohio State beats all those teams, he probably is going to win the Heisman Trophy. He's really good. CJ Carr is really good. Notre Dame's really good. There's some really, really good teams. I'm surprised you went with saying, you know who I thought you were going to say?
Who?
I thought you were going to say Arch Manning.
I
did. Just 8-1, and he's going to bounce back. You mentioned narrative, right? If he's actually better than whatever last year was, now everyone's like, what a comeback story. Who would have thought? Arch Manning, the most hyped up high school quarterback recruit in most people's lifetime. That's a comeback story. And the narrative will be interesting if Texas is like Ohio State, wins a lot of games. And I believe they both play early again this season against each other.
Yeah, well, and I will throw a little bit of fun money on Bryce Underwood. I think saying one of the reasons I took saying is the article I read this morning on him after I started thinking about it had him at plus 1,300. So I think those odds are good. And look, there is going to be a hype machine behind Arch Manning, like 100% hype machine. Like, Texas boosters are going to spend money on advertising. Do you have your vote still?
I do right now. I will find out officially confirmed in the fall, because they'll do the regionals and all this stuff. Hey, this content's being produced in the capital region, sort of. So
yeah,
I feel all right about it.
Well, you might get, whatever legally they can send your way. You know what I mean? Like, you might get a box of like Texas ribeyes or something, stuff like that. Well, I've lost I've adapted to this internet life, huh? Literally had a conversation yesterday about not swearing on the air, and here I am. I think there'll be the hype machine behind that. He's got to be one of the favorites, but like I said, looking at all the factors and the value, saying just makes sense. I will throw some fun money on Bryce Underwood. Like, because if I think Michigan is going to take a huge step back. Well, not back from last year, but back from what people thought they were going to be. But if Underwood is what everyone hoped he would be, and Kyle Whittingham's always had good offensive rosters and teams. If he can do it, I think he'll at least be a finalist. And that, how crazy would that be? What is he, 18, 19 years old on the stage with a Michigan and a Buckeye on the Heisman stage, deciding who's going to potentially win the whole damn thing. And I think he's like 3,500 to 1 or 350 to 1, maybe something like that. So, I think Sayan's the story. I think nobody thought Fernando Mendoza would be on that stage. Nobody thought that.
No.
And then he wins it, and he's the number 1 overall pick. So I think Sayan's the perfect mixture of program around him, situational awareness, skill, and kind of can come out of left field.
I can't wait for college football to get underway next month. To your Michigan point, I'm a little concerned about your Wolverines just because it's a new coach. When Underwood signed, yeah, right. Like when Underwood signed with Michigan, he was expected to play for somebody else. Now, look, it helps when you make millions of dollars. Maybe who you play for isn't as impactful as it used to be in college sports when you had that monster deal come in from one of the richest people in the country. But it's not the offense he signed up for. Whittingham, I want to call it old school football. The single wing, snap it to your best player like Utah. Utah had 2 quarterbacks and one was like a running back. So like they have a different system. So that plus, like Michigan went 9-3 last year, but if you look at their schedule, they didn't really play a lot of good teams. They lost all the good ones. They lost to Ohio State. They lost to USC, and I believe there's a third loss in there to an okay team. Oklahoma, yeah.
Yeah, the legal system was also.
Yes, the legal system. Yeah, so I'm a little nervous about your Wolverines this season. Well, I'm nervous about Underwood. I
think they'll be better than they were last year simply because the coach is going to be playing grab ass. Like this is I think this is one of those years that if you're a Michigan fan like I am, you go into this year just hoping to see some good football. And if they win a bunch of games and Underwood ends up in the Heisman conversation, it's a great season. Where like when Harbaugh was there, and even the first year or more, everybody, we're supposed to be competing for the championship. This is supposed to be, this is not a competing for the championships. The Big Ten is going to come down to Oregon, Ohio State, like it did last year. And then maybe I don't know, can Penn State right the ship fast? I don't but I think a lot of people think it's going to be Oregon and Notre Dame for the national championship. And I don't have any reason to think that's not true based on what I'm seeing out there. If anything, I just hate Notre Dame because they won't join a conference. But aside from that, that would be a fun storyline with a lot of stuff. And it would mean Ohio State didn't get there. So
Miami's gonna probably have that Miami Notre Dame game. I don't want to look forward to it because then college football season's almost over. But boy, there's a world we live in that a Miami and Notre Dame are both undefeated, and the winner or whoever plays best in that game could win the Heisman Trophy, be the number 1 seed in the playoff. I can't wait for college football to get back, man. Let's flip it back to the pros though. Speaking about future wagers and investment, both you and I believe the Los Angeles Rams will win the Super Bowl. We'll see how that number continues to move as we get closer and closer to September kickoff. And we'll have a second edition. Hang on. We'll have a second edition of our NFL preview show. Levesque, what do you make of the new all-white uniforms for the Rams?
I'm not an all-white uniform guy. I'm just not. I like theirs a little better than the Jets. I think I like theirs because it's such a contrast for them, and they've done it in the past, at least something similar to it. Like I do need to see it up close because remember they dropped the all whites not too long ago, and they were really like a cream. Like they weren't exactly a white uniform. I don't like the uniform. I'm not an all white uniform guy. The white out again. I like it for Penn State. I like originality. Like that's why I get very upset when everybody has to say nation. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like there's Raider Nation was first. You can look it up. It's a true story. But the whiteout thing, it's very collegiate, and I like it for something. My cats are fighting.
This is the stuff people didn't get to see on radio. Phone calls going off, text messages coming in.
I know.
Cats flying, kids. This is what happened on the show, but we would just play with each other. This is what happens. You get to see Levac and guys.
During the show, I have confirmed the standby ambulance for the playoff game on August 1st. I have broke up a cat fight and accepted that I think Ohio State's going to be better than Michigan. It's been a long show for me already on this Friday edition of Levac and guys. They all like the reason there's one reason I like the Rams all white uniform. It's the helmet, the white horns on the helmet. I love that. That's such a throwback, cool thing that I like that it justifies the rest of it for me. But that's it. Like if I could, like I've got you can kind of see I got a Raiders helmet up there. At some point I'm supposed to get my hands on a Firebirds helmet. I have never taken one because, well, they're expensive and I feel bad even though I've been told I can. I'm gonna go to this. If I would take that white Rams helmet, if I could put enough display behind me, that white horned Rams helmet is pretty sick. It's definitely there's an old school. Yeah, see that, like it's vintage, it's kind of throwback. It just looks clean and mean. I love it.
Here's one thing that I've never told.
And I never knew Deacon Jones' name was Dave. This is the first time I've ever actually processed that right there.
I don't know if I've ever told you a story before. Your guy Matt Woods will like this story. So I got some Deacon Jones comparisons when I played at Hobart and plays.
Yeah, you guys look a lot alike.
Well, here's the thing, right? So they do like one-on-one pass rush moves. So I'm from like an I don't know any pass rush moves. I was just bigger and stronger than a lot of kids. I had the fall birthday. I was playing Class B football. Like I didn't have I wasn't Reggie White, or like Bruce Smith.
No, you were Reggie Very White.
Right. I was just basically taking kids and moving them around. But maybe I was quick enough to be an athlete, right? So they're like, all right, what do you
I believe you would call that country strong.
Yeah, I would. So, hey, kid, God, hey, what are you going to use here? You're going to use a speed? You're going to use a bull? How are you going to get through this big 6'5", 320-pound offensive tackle that's significantly bigger than you? I just didn't have any pass rush moves. So what I would do is we were doing the one-on-one drills. They call it bell drill. And I would just slap the shit out of the offensive tackle's face. Like, dude, head slap. And the upperclassmen, the D linemen were cracking up. Because I obviously I didn't do it to be like mean, but I'm like, you're hand-to-hand combat. You're trying to get through somebody. So it wasn't like I was like Stephanie McMahon slapping them, but it was like Deacon Jones. Like I was like to the point, like the upperclassmen were cracking up. They're like, you can't keep head slapping guys. But it worked in my favor because none of the offensive tackles wanted to piece me. I'm like, I'm killing it. Finally, one of the D coordinators who wasn't a big fan of mine, I ended up against such offense. He's like, you can't head slap. You just can't. You just can't. That was my last. Yeah, that may have been the end of my defensive line career, although there's other storylines that people don't care about. So I was Deacon Jones, with the head. There you go, old school football fans. Head slap with the white helmet.
So I watched a documentary on Deacon Jones. Some of the offensive linemen sharpened the tip of the cage so that when he would head slap, it would cut his hand open. And then have you Howie Long? He swears it's not real, but there's a jersey that somebody has. It's allegedly a game-worn Howie Long jersey, and inside the numbers are metal rivets. So that when you tried to hold him, you'd cut your hands up. Man,
everybody's got these little tips. Was it your Raider who came up with stick 'em for the first time? I think it was a wide receiver.
Yeah, it's Cliff Branch.
There you go. There we go.
Him and Blitnikoff. I don't know. Defensive back and wide receivers. I don't know if they were the first to do it, but they perfected it. Like they caught colds with those things, man. Like they took it to a whole nother level. In my championship flag football days and pickup games, I mastered, and you saw this when we played against the SUNY police. I mastered the Reggie White forklift. I get my arm up underneath your arm, and I throw you that way, and then I go. So it was like a power swim, basically. I used to do.
That's right.
And it was so. I mean, remember that jacked up cop who was just like, "Oh, I'll block him," and then he was like, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna go out and pass."
Large club. It was fun, man. D-line's a fun position to play.
I love it.
I was telling my son the other day, there's a move called the swim move, and he's good. He's a good swimmer. Yeah. He's like, wait, I can A swim? I know how to swim, Dad. How do I do? Oh, we have breaking news here. This will tell you, summer listening's different, especially Friday summer listening's different. So we're releasing this a little early.
Yeah,
breaking
might not
news.
be breaking by the time you hear it.
According to Shams Charania of ESPN, LeBron James has made a decision. LeBron James is signing with the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year, $8 million deal with a player option.
Wow.
They've decided on Philadelphia. Levac, your reaction hearing that LeBron goes to Philly?
That's a young team. For the most part. I mean, obviously they've got some older players too, but I mean that's their odds have got to be dropping through the floor right now, right? Like, you're not making any money betting them to win the East now.
So Philly's roster looks like this. Now with the addition of LeBron, you've got LeBron. Remember, Jaylen Brown has been traded there this offseason.
Oh my God.
You've got Embiid.
I actually didn't remember that for a second.
So you've got LeBron, Jaylen Brown, Embiid, Maxey, and VJ Edgecombe. That's the best team in the NBA. I know Philly's never lived up to it. That's the best team in the NBA right now.
That's the best team if. I think your love of hyperbole is taking over a little bit. That is the best team if Embiid is healthy, if LeBron is healthy, if they can all get along. I mean, Jaylen Brown is a weird dude. He's a weird dude. How is he going to – he went from being the biggest star on that team to he's what? Maybe not the – it was him or Embiid. He's now what, third on the depth chart for stardom? That could be interesting. Could blow up. Could be weird.
If you are a LeBron hater, today's your day. Today's your day, LeBron haters, because look across the NBA. Obviously, LeBron's 20 plus years, 40, all this stuff, right? Like, he's far older than I guess we all used to be. But if you said LeBron just chases after championships, LeBron just after his legacy, other LeBron defenders would be like, no, it was the best decision to join the Heat. That's the best decision to go back for his legacy to go to Cleveland. All greats finish with the Lakers. LeBron fans could defend LeBron. This one is flat out, the Sixers are really good and I want to win a championship. That's it. He could have gone back to Miami like we thought about earlier in the week and played with Antetokounmpo. He twisted the narrative saying he's decided not to go back to the Lakers. I don't know if the Lakers wanted him back, especially after all the things that went down with that franchise. And the Genie Bus has been public and through sources. I'm surprised it's Philadelphia, but I really shouldn't be. If we really thought about who's the best team for LeBron to win a championship with and go deep into the postseason, after the addition of Jaylen Brown, this is the best team, and I will concede when healthy. If you roll out 5 players against the Knicks and 5 players against Philly, Philly can beat them, but Embiid's never been healthy. Edgecombe's still really young. And you only got one basketball now for LeBron, Brown, and Maxey. It's going to be great. Philly, New York in the conference finals, that would be awesome.
It's funny because haters going to hate. Oh, my God, he just takes so much money. Now he's going $4 million a year, and people are going to be like, oh, he's just chasing rings. It's like, dude, pick your lane. Why do you hate him? Just say you hate him. It's okay to irrationally hate people. I mean, it's not nice. You shouldn't do it, but it's a thing. The narrative not too long ago was these teams are changing their rosters because they can't compete with the Knicks. Do the Knicks need to make a move to catch back up to the 76ers, or do you still just run it back as you are?
Let me answer that question in January.
No. The
answer, if you're telling me right now in July, after LeBron moved, does New York need to make a move? I would say no.
Okay.
They're the defending champions. They've proven they can win a championship with this roster. As of when you and I are talking, most of the expected Knicks have come back. Some have not. Robinson Ray went to Boston, but that wasn't shocking. The draft was a complete mess. We're still trying to – did we figure out who the Knicks actually drafted yet? A month later, I would have liked for them to actually have more impactful players, but I know people talk about the apron luxury and all this other stuff, so they might have a reason as to why they were acting ridiculous at the draft. The Knicks No, they don't have to make a move right now. I can't. Gosh, man. LeBron has made this fascinating in the Philadelphia market. The Sixers want that title so badly. Philly's tough on their athletes. And we'll say that lineup again one more time. A combination of Embiid, Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown, and LeBron. At one point, are we going to see LeBron coming off the bench? Like, are they going to have to bench LeBron? Because you know, my boy Carmelo didn't want to.
He might play less minutes. He'll probably play less. Well, yeah, but Melo's a different player. Like LeBron is also a facilitator. You know what I mean? Like LeBron will play point forward and point guard, and you know he'll bring the ball up the court. Melo was going to shoot. Like if Melo brought the ball up the court, he'd be shooting from the other baseline. So yeah, no, the skill set is different for that. That's the only reason that if LeBron, I think LeBron will play less minutes than he ever has before based on this roster, but for $4 million a year to get one of the greatest players of all time who's still got some in the tank, something to prove and wants one more ring, you did good, 76ers. You did good.
I'm looking around right now because just this morning I knew I was going to be outside a lot, and now it's the summer. I wear the basketball jerseys, whether it's lawn or pool or whatever. You know, I'm just wearing the jerseys around more often. There's a benefit of being a content creator. I have to wear adult clothes. I got to get a LeBron jersey. That might be the last jersey I buy for myself since I've been
76ers one.
I've got all the other LeBrons. You know, I've been collecting. I said this since I was 13. I'm like, whatever team LeBron James plays for, gosh, I'm going to be 37 in October. That means for 24 years, I've got at least one LeBron jersey because of moments like this. But if I have to buy a 76er jersey now to add the final one to the collection, I want the old school Allen Iverson's 2006er. You know, that all black with like the 76ers gold. Give me him in like the Iverson early 2000s. I would rock a LeBron like that.
Oh, if you're the 76ers, I mean, I know we were just talking about monetizing jerseys and stuff like that. You need to play in every variety of jersey this year. Yeah. Every single, like you need 7 different jerseys this year. The regular, the road, the home, the throwback, the city pride, the pride. Like because people are going to do what you're doing. They're going to go buy a LeBron jersey just to have him on a 76ers. I'm going to get a Karl Anthony Towns jersey that says Zesty instead of Towns in the back. That's what I'm going to do.
Switching the order up here in the rundown, because do you ever wish you went to Old Timers Day for Yankees?
Yeah. Well, because Monument Park is amazing. 100%. I would have liked to. I might go one day. I also know that like I have to be in the right mindset to spend an entire day at the ballpark, and that's an entire day at the ballpark. But I would like to do that once, especially if I could talk my kid into going. Maybe they'll be like, you want to talk about getting old? I'm going to be 50 in what, 34 days, something like that, 33 days. Look at you, Hobart Fitty. There it is.
Just sitting there, the 5-0.
So like maybe I'll take my grandkids to Old Timers Day when I'm an actual 100% old timer. Maybe that's what I'll do one day. My kid's supposed to get married next summer, so.
I asked you that question, and I'm glad you brought up your kids, because I last night the basketball tournament was played, and a lot of people, for those who don't know, it's a $2 million tournament with basically a team's filled with former players who represent old colleges. Like Kansas has a team, Louisville has a team, Syracuse has a team, and a lot of it's kind of faded away for some people. It was a cool idea like 10 years ago. I remember we used to talk to Doug Sherman. Doug Sherman was like one of the initial voices of that tournament, and it was like, all right, put this tournament when there's nothing going on in that second week of July, and it owned coverage on ESPN a little bit. I bring that up because, like, last night I felt covering that event at the War Memorial, which is not where Syracuse plays, a smaller venue. They needed that. A reporter walked up to me and said, hey, you know why this is popular? It's because of what you just said. A generation of fans never saw other players' favorite fans play or favorite players play in front of fans. Like Don Mattingly. If all of a sudden he got to throw on the pinstripes one more time, you get to watch it, or Jeter, like McNamara was there as a coach, but I was like, wow, like that's really what this is. Like, and Syracuse won last night, and they needed the fan base of victory. It's been it was sad writing that article for Roundtable today. Be like, Syracuse basketball needed a victory that people could remember. I'm like, oh gosh, has it been that long that people trotted out to watch them play an exhibition game and Buddy Boeheim's making threes? It is a cool concept. I know some people would be like, well, they're not as good as they used to be or whatever. That's the cool part about sports. When you get to share it with other people in your life and be like, I watched him play, now you get to. Yeah. So put that on your bucket list. Old Timers Day, the Cooperstown Classic, I think it's called, where they bring it back. I hope to gosh AI takes this cut. Please clip it. Cut this spot, AI. What you got to do.
There's an extra amount of cat ass in today's show. He said, "You said cat? You want some zest? I got
Syracuse's Bayheim's Army single elimination. Now they play Sunday 2:00 in Lexington, Kentucky. I will not be there for that game. The movie Obsession, by the way, has taken over 2026. I know we had a lot of people give us feedback about our movie conversation about the Odyssey and others. Obsession's like, is it Blair Witch? Is it Scream? Is it Get Out, where no one expected a movie to take over like this movie's taken over? Levack, you got to see it. Do we call this, I don't know, best movie, breakout movie? What do we do with this Obsession film?
I was convinced that it was overhyped and I was going to hate it. Curry Barker. If you don't know who that is, he's a YouTuber. So he makes a bunch of short films on YouTube. Some of them are scary. A lot of them are funny. It's his movie. They spent $750,000, $1 million. That's all they spent on it. It's the first movie since E.T. to like just dwarf its budget and continue to grow or all this other stuff. It's doing E.T. stuff in the box office. You spelled movie wrong. But I was like, this is stupid. I'm not gonna get it. It's not gonna be, but I'd seen that he was basing it on like not based on, but the idea came into his brain when he watched the Monkey Paw episode of Simpsons. And for those of you who don't know the Monkey Paw is like that story. It's like a short story where you get a monkey paw and you make 3 wishes based on it. The monkey has 3 fingers up, and every time you make a wish, a finger goes down. It's that story is where the be careful what you wish for narrative came from. Like that's what it is. So this one again, I went into it expecting to hate it because it's like it's overhyped. It's not going to be as good. Indy Navarrete. She plays Nikki, the main character, the main female character. She's freaking amazing. She plays it straight and then completely over the top and whatever. She is the reason this is a great movie. And it's I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes, something like that. It's completely worth the watch if you like scary movies. It's a little gory. It's going to make you uncomfortable, but completely worthwhile. If you like scary movies, you got to watch Obsession. You have to.
Ooh, that's a high compliment for you.
I think you spelled Obsession wrong too.
Obsession? How do you spell Obsession? What? What's wrong with this graphic? What?
Are you just messing with me? Is this like let's see if the dyslexic guy can you left an S out.
I forgot an S-O-B-E? Oh yeah, I did leave an S out.
I think this is one of those moments where guys like Levack's dyslexia is fatigue based. Let's see how tired he is.
We talked to a production.
Like if I can read it, it's wrong. Just so we're clear.
We had a meeting with a production team, network, all this stuff, and I'm sure hopefully today they're watching the show me like they need us. I told you they needed us.
They're gonna come back and be like, remember we asked for this much of what you guys do? We're gonna need a little more. You guys can't spell
changed.
Yeah, you can't.
We do want you, but we gotta change the number.
No, but it's a sick movie. It's a sick and there's a couple things that they leave out that they could potentially do it again. And it's there's things I want to know. Like I've seen Curry Barker do interviews. I guess they shot it like 2 years ago. And they finally got it all done and put it out. And he's already shot his next movie's already shot. It's just got to be, but that one they spent $5 million on. I hope he never goes big budget because I think the fact that his YouTube videos and that he was forced to do narrative and find an actress who could do the things that she could do, I think make it a great movie. I think if they spent too much on effects and everything, it wouldn't be as good.
The coolest part about the horror thriller genre is that if you hit and there's such a audience for that and your work is so good, they will see whatever you make next. Like, gosh, pick anybody. Wes Craven, M. Night Shyamalan, Jordan Peele, right? Like you get one. Get Out's phenomenal. Like some of those first ones are phenomenal. The Sixth Sense. If this is on that level, which is again a huge compliment, people are just going to want to see the next one. Like, I don't think I'll ever see that movie just because of what's going on behind me and all the other stuff. But if this guy keeps putting out content like that, at some point I got to be like, I got to see what this guy's doing. So I don't know if it's now, but see his that's YouTube, a high compliment.
Like his YouTube kind of sets and a lot of his YouTube is funny and awkward. Like it's meant to be like, but like he's more of a comedy. I view him as a comedy guy. So now let's give him the flowers. Let's go full flowers on this guy right now and say that he has one of the best horror movies out. If that be the case, potentially the dog just ran into the desk. The three best horror movie directors right now are Jordan Peele, is it Creator, the guy and then Curry Barker, which would mean Barker's YouTube videos, Key and Peele, The Whitest Kid You Know. So three like comedy troops. Their guy is now the guy who's making the best horror movies, which that's crazy.
And to bring this all full circle, you mentioned Monkey Paws. Isn't that the name of the production company Jordan Peele also runs? Yeah. It's named after Monkey Paws, right? Yep.
That's his. Crazy. I mean, it's a great like there's certain Shakespeare said there's only 7 original stories. So like in the world of horror, there's certain ones like that's one of the ones. Like it's literally be careful what you wish for. Oh, I wish I had a really smart primate. Now the movie Primate's there, and he's smart enough to F you up. Like I wish she would love me. Oh, she gonna love you. You ain't gonna like how it goes. She gonna love you. I thought it was simple and good. And her role, like you may have seen memes and gifs of her and not even realize it's from the movie. There's like a scene when she's fully losing her S. And I've seen it, and I was like, and she looks so different, like the facial expression she's making and the things she's doing in the scene. She doesn't look like her. And I've seen that thing out there, and somebody's like, this is the best GIF or meme of 2026. And I'm like, no, it's just freaking scary. Oh no, it's really freaking scary, especially when you see it in its like entirety and the way it's supposed to be happening. The dog wants me to play fetch with him. All right, I broke that. That's broken. Sorry.
All right, Obsession. Levac gives it 2 thumbs up, like the old Siskel and Ebert. Go see it.
3 thumbs, but you got to figure out what the third one is.
I gotta ask you this: have fast food restaurants gotten worse, or the service have gotten worse? Yeah. And I don't know 100%. If it's because whether business and how much you pay people, and people who do and don't want to do those jobs and anything else. I will admit, and parents shame me if you want, I still take my kids to fast food restaurants for 2 really convenient reasons. One, it is hard to get 3 boys in and out of a car. So I don't want to leave my kids in the car and go grab food. Like you shouldn't leave your kids in the car unattended to, especially at their age, right? So going through a drive-through is very convenient.
A little bowl of water, they'll be fine.
And 2, like, look, $4 for a bunch of chicken nuggets, and the kids are actually going to eat it. They're going to eat the nuggets. We're not getting like, triple cheeseburgers. We're getting chicken nuggets, a toy, and an apple juice. So look, fine for the shamers out there.
Stop. Don't worry about that.
Defending myself.
Yeah,
fine.
Screw them.
Went to Burger King the other day. Completely botched the order. No burger. No, this is my order. No burger, no fries, whatever. I'm like, you know what? They forgot it. No big deal. They forgot my fries. I'll drive away.
I'd go nuts.
Then Wendy's showed up. Wendy's a few days later. We go to this Wendy's. And they just botch everything. 2 sandwiches missing, 2 fries missing, half the nuggets are missing. Oh, that more expensive than I thought, because this time old Ghazi Pear put his hoof down, and we were like, no, I'm not going to. So I got to get back in line. It's like a 20-minute line. I'm like, hey, you guys made a mistake on my order. And the manager comes out, and probably some 16-year-old kid was working. He had some, I won't see what physically he looks like.
He was a pimple puss.
The manager comes out. He's like, how many bags did you give this guy? And he's like, oh, I gave him 3. He's like, well, I made you 4 bags. Where's the 4th bag? And the kid's like looking around like, he's like, hey, sir, do you mind if you pull over to the front? He's like, no, I made the 4th bag. He's like, yeah, we'll bring it out to you. Okay. I knew them. I'm telling everybody right now, this is my best advice I can give you in 2026. If a fast food restaurant tells you to pull up to the front, you're not getting your food.
Yeah,
you're not getting it.
You're screwed.
You're done. You're not getting it. You're gonna
be there forever.
Oh my gosh. Remember, I got a car full of 3 kids. They're missing their food. So I'm sitting there for 20 minutes. Too long I was sitting there. So I'm like, all right, now I'm going back. So now I go back in and I'm like, hey, man, I've been sitting there for 20 minutes. This kid comes up. He's like, yeah, we went to go give you the food, but you weren't there. I was like, okay. Oh, so first of all, he thought he had the bag made and he lied to his manager because they would have just brought the bag out and gave it to me. Obviously, he didn't make the food.
Right.
So that kid out of the gate goes, no, I was going to go give you the food, but you weren't there. Calmly, as politely as I could go, I straight Larry Holmes right jabbed this kid in the face. And I go, oh, okay, well, no problem. Do you have the bag then? And you would have thought he like got knocked out. It's like,
so figuratively, you didn't really punch him.
No,
I was like, oh my God,
no.
Let's go. Let's
but
get him.
You could tell the kid like was ready to fight and argue and be like, I'm going to stand on my two, this guy's causing a problem because he thinks I screwed up his order, which he did. So I was like, okay, no problem. Do you have the bag since you made it? And you could be like, he was polite and calm and he knows I'm lying to him right now. And of course they open up the bag and it's wrong again. He goes, well, I know, right? They go, what did you have again? He goes, why don't you just pull up to the front? I go, hey, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to just stay right here until you bring me the food.
Yeah.
So he brings me the food. It's wrong. He goes, no, it's 2 fries and a burger. I know it's. And then you can see the manager behind him bringing me the chicken sandwich. They also screwed up. And I was like, this guy wanted to fight me and like get in a conference. So just a warning out there. Gosh, fast food spots are getting more bizarre than ever before.
I think it's like a combination of like the more volume with the Grubhub and the DoorDash and all those things. And also the fact that you don't have to interact with people for those. Like the DoorDash guy does. So they don't know how to interact with people. And the pussification of America is so solid. Like everybody thinks they're right. Nobody ever just does the right thing and goes, all right, sorry, let me fix it. Because again, especially somebody like you who's being polite, forget that, dude. You should take zero attitude back. Like they should give you extra food. They should give you a gift card like of the price of your order so that your next meal is on them. That's the way that should have been.
Just own it. I wish our guy Dan was listening to this party. He's like, man, just treat the customer, and I'm sure Dan's going through 1,000 of those stories, but these weren't even good lies by the kid. They're like, oh no, I gave him a fork bag. Okay, just hand him the bag. Oh, it's gone. Oh, we brought the food out to you. Okay, just hand me these aren't hard. These are bad lies. Like, just give me the food, man. What are we doing? Just say I screwed up and make some more nuggets. That's all. All right, I got some comments here to close out the show.
Oh, cool.
Really nice comments here. Oh, gosh, here they are. Leon, big Met fan. Leon wrote in the show. He goes, guys, how are you? Leon wrote, are you guys going to get a radio show again? The 518 needs some sports-related shows in the afternoons.
No. Unless Albany Broadcasting wants to launch a sports show. So there's three media teams in the Capital Region. We work for Town Square. We worked for iHeart. We've never worked for Albany Broadcasting, but they don't have a sports channel. So unless they want to give us the afternoon on one of their stations to leave format, I would say highly unlikely. I would put it at 20% chance that we have a new radio show in the Capital Region, and even lower because it would have to be probably back at iHeart. So I would say this is the radio show.
Matt Bopp, we always love and appreciate. He goes, I want you. He wrote. What did he write here? Here he goes.
He said they're doing a podcast now.
Yes, he goes, they're doing the podcast now. They still do the podcast, but I want them on the radio too. We appreciate that love from Matt as well. I would put it at 20% too. I feel like in the course of the next month, it might get to like 5%. I would still say 20% because you and I both heard something. I don't want to take that person or person's thunder away. They should get their moment. But we've heard something in the industry that would change things. Let's put it like that. We've heard some rumblings about something else. And when that changes, I don't want to take that away from them. When that stuff is announced, then we will comment on that. Let's put it like that.
Oh, you mean somebody? Oh, you mean somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
I don't want to take that away from them if that's true. Well, there's a chance it's not true.
But and to be honest with you, that wouldn't even. I don't feel like. All right, there's a chance that somebody that we're very good friends with might be getting a job in the market. I don't feel like that changes our odds. I don't. If anything, that might actually increase our odds because if it works, the other company might look at us and go, "Hey, we want that back." So,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I had a conversation with Andy Gelcher once that blew my mind. I was talking to Andy about how other car dealerships they're they made a point, like when I would pull in with the Mohawk Chevy logo, that like other Chevy dealerships and stuff, they'd be like, "Hey, dude, you got to pull around back. You can't be out front with that. Like you can't advertise Mohawk Chevy in Smith Chevy's lot." And I was like, you know, and I get it, you know, that. So I do the respectful thing. He goes, you know, the funniest thing, he goes, of course I want you to buy your Chevrolet, your American motor vehicle from Mohawk. He goes, but most importantly, I just want to make sure you're buying American vehicles. He goes, so if you're buying a Chevy, awesome. If you're buying a Ford, great. If you're buying a Dodge, good for you. He goes, I want it from here, but I want it to be us because we should all be working together to keep people from buying, you know, the foreign made autos, you know, like because our industry gets stronger together. And I think that's kind of the way. Nobody expects me to look at local sports talk that way, but I do. Like that's why, like, Roger Weiland and I are friends. If somebody actually gets on the air at our old station or either of our old stations, good for you, because I think the more that we keep local sports talk going, the better it is for everyone. But the more we do this, the more I feel like, as long as you are subscribing and sharing and following and commenting the way you're commenting, I think we can make this work, and we can give you that content in a way more readily available way. But good local sports talk is huge, and I hope there's more of it.
Me too. It's an amazing answer. Everybody benefits from that. We had a conversation with an awesome, again, I the second time we referenced this, but we had a conversation with an awesome group of people yesterday. They basically were like, guys, when you start putting your content out at different times, when you track it, you'll be shocked how many people listen to your show at 11 o'clock at night because they put their kids to bed, they watch their show, and they want to catch up on what they missed on the show, or how many people are consuming it at 5 a.m. at a workout at the gym and all this stuff. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, we see it. Like, we got a text from Boston Dan this morning, which is testicles. Because of yesterday's segment about testicles. So, and then, you know, the post from Leon and Matt Bob, like, they comment on stuff at certain times. So yeah, this will be, listen, you work with us. We'll make this work.
We got one from Facebook here. Denise wanted to share a video with me, and I think she's a little confused, but I appreciate her sharing our content. Denise sent me a message privately on Facebook showing me a picture of Abe, my son, on a recent YouTube clip from the show. I think she doesn't realize either you or I are the host of the show. So
is her last name start with an S?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you, Denise, for sharing a video starring my son to me. I appreciate you sharing the content.
Did you think you didn't know that your son was online? Is that?
I don't know. I don't know if she thinks it's two different shows. I don't know if she's confused by how podcasts and radio shows work. That, hey, this is your. You know what? Thank you. That's all I'll say.
I did. You know, it is. The one thing I liked about that segment, besides the fact that I think your son's hysterical, just dropping the oba repeatedly and never stopping. Like some people would have made a point to like blur him, and you're just like, if you want to come and try to take one of these kids, they're gonna beat you up. So
I get the blurring thing, kind of like, hey, my son didn't ask if he wanted to be on camera, so it's up to him if he wants to be on camera. I understand that. They can make the decision when they're 18. I also feel like the people who do the blurring, it leaves the audience be like, I gotta know what's under the blur. It's a kid. That's all I have. That's all I got on this, unless you've got anything else involving today. No Saratoga stuff. I know the Whitney's coming up later on, the Jim Dandy. Maybe we'll talk more horror, but it's kind of a slower day at Toga today.
I'm completely, you know what, the only thing I'm trying to keep track of at Saratoga right now is our guy JK, the owner at KDO Burns. He's got a bunch of horses that are running, and I guess he's had some winners already. So I'm like, hey, JK, how about let me know in advance that Lobster and Tata and Chowda and all the horses are running, so that I can cash in on your horses. He's like, yeah, absolutely. And then I've heard nothing. So, I mean, the guy's got like a major full-time job. He runs one of the best restaurants in the area / bars. And he owns, like, I think he's part owner of like 12 horses now. So the fact that he can't take time out of his day to stop everything and let me know what's going on, how dare you?
Come on, JK, figure it out. Let's go.
Yeah. Help me out. Come on now. All right, well, that's it then. I'm good. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody. You'll hear from us on Monday, barring something crazy happening and us feeling a need to jump on at some point. But I assume it'll be on Monday. But thank you for everybody who's making comments and sharing, subscribing. Really, really appreciate you. This is we're having fun, and we're learning, and we're going to grow this bad boy, Levac and Gaz, right here, right now on Godzilla Media, which see if I ever got a check from them. But Gaz, go ahead and hit that frickin' button.